Well, our thing is this: how we work and how we operate. It must make business sense on our side.
Let me get to you, because I understand that you have retired. You're 50-0. You walked away from the game. You made a lot of money, but you did make news sometime last year when people were talking about you returning. Now you're 43 years old, okay? I want to know where your head is at as it pertains to you.
Well, whatever reason it is that they want to see you, that reason is why you. It's not that you just deserve the money because it's hard to do.
Right. I have never encountered an athlete who, number one, flaunts his wealth the way Floyd flaunts his wealth, and who, number two, is so blindly full of himself to the fault of those who did pave the way. He did acknowledge that much, so I appreciate that much.
The fighter who once proudly referred to himself as the greatest of all time is now at the center of serious controversy. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is currently surrounded by growing allegations, including claims of involvement in questionable financial dealings and speculation that his financial stability could be under threat.
I did it the hard way. You know, I'm a kid that came from poverty. I can remember being a kid living in Jersey with my mother. 7 of us living in a 1-bedroom. You know, no lights, no heat. Never cried, never complained. I just worked hard to get to where I got to in life. It's been hard.
When Floyd Mayweather Jr. transformed his public identity from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather, his image took on a different direction. Instead of being recognized only for his exceptional defensive skills and boxing talent, he began presenting himself as a symbol of wealth and financial success. During this phase of his career, the spotlight shifted beyond his achievements in the ring. Mayweather increasingly emphasized his fortune and lifestyle, making pursuit and display of money a central part of his public persona.
If you want to look at guys that never got hit, Floyd went his entire career, got hit hard like 3 or 4 times, ever.
Yeah. When he fought Diego Chico Corrales, which is one of my favorite all-time fights, you know, because it was like there was nothing for Diego to hit, and then all of a sudden he just bounced in his face, bop, left hook from like 5 feet away. That's a Mayweather that I think nobody could possibly maybe beat.
That was the Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather.
Pretty Boy
that was
Floyd.
before he became Money Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. gradually reshaped his public identity into a powerful personal brand centered around wealth and luxury, rather than being known only for his elite defensive ability inside the ring. He began highlighting an extravagant lifestyle and the massive earnings that came with his fights. As his career progressed, the narrative around Mayweather expanded beyond boxing achievements. With multi-million-dollar purses from major bouts, he built a reputation as one of the highest-earning athletes in the world, while openly showcasing the financial success that came with it.
It's just complete genius.
Yes.
First of all, from just changing his style, right? He broke his hands a lot. So when he was younger, they called him Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah.
And then he changes his name to Money. And when he changes his name to Money, he turns heel.
Yeah.
He became like this guy and everybody wanted to see him get beat.
Yeah.
And he's the most unhittable guy in the history of the sport.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's interesting when fighters figure out ways to do that too, like what Floyd is doing. What Floyd is doing is so interesting. He retires from fighting and he says, I'll just start boxing people who have no chance.
Hey, why not?
Floyd Mayweather Jr. initially earned around $3 million for each fight during the earlier stage of his career. However, his financial growth accelerated after he chose to take control of his own business decisions and operate independently. That strategic shift allowed him to capture a much larger share of the revenue generated by his bouts. As a result, his income increased dramatically, eventually placing him among the highest-earning athletes in the world. By distancing himself from the traditional promoter-driven model and carefully managing his career on his own terms, Mayweather built a financial legacy that stood out as one of the most remarkable in the sport.
Floyd Mayweather was the highest paid athlete in the world, and you won't believe why. Early in his career, Floyd partnered with a fight promoter where he was making $3 million a fight, but he wasn't satisfied. He thought he could make way more with pay-per-view and wanted out of his contract. So he bet on himself and paid his manager $750,000 to get out. And you won't believe what happened next, so drop a follow. This would prove to be a huge win for Floyd, and after going independent, he made nearly $1 billion and became the highest paid athlete in the world.
However, as Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s wealth increased, personal challenges reportedly followed. His father, Floyd Mayweather Jr., once explained that before Floyd reached his peak financial success, the two rarely had serious conflicts. According to Mayweather Sr., their relationship began to change once Floyd started earning enormous amounts of money. He claimed that his son's spending habits grew increasingly extravagant, with luxury cars, properties, and other costly purchases becoming a major focus. This shift in lifestyle reportedly created tension between the two. Mayweather Sr. suggested that significant wealth can sometimes alter people's priorities and behavior, which he believed contributed to the strain in their relationship.
We have never had an argument in our life, me and him. Then we had an argument on what was the name of it? HBO. We was on HBO. Then another time we argued over by the car. I'm saying, man, what is all this about now? I'm just saying, you know, and we never had no argument. All of a sudden, it is or it ain't. Sometimes, you know, hey, when people get, it ain't about me training or anything like that. People get money, man. Things change. I don't care whether it's your father, mother, whoever. Father, mother, brother, sister, name it. You know, if sometimes when people get money.
As Floyd Mayweather Jr. accumulated more wealth, some observers felt that his attitude began to change. According to those accounts, the shift in his personality created distance between him and several people who had been close to him for years, including longtime friends. Boxing legend Mike Tyson also spoke about Mayweather's behavior. Tyson criticized what he viewed as Mayweather's arrogance, saying that such an attitude was not something to admire. He suggested that Mayweather should remain grounded and keep his ego under control, especially given the enormous fortune he had earned.
How do you feel about Floyd, though?
Huh?
How do you feel about
Awesome
Floyd?
fighter, great fighter. You know, he's a little too into himself. You know, he should be. I was the same way too, but you have to come to reality some way. You have to bring your head down to God. We're nothing to be fucking arrogant. You expect us to be ignorant and arrogant. Look where we came from.
That's why I asked the question earlier about you mentoring fighters, because I feel like Floyd looked at you growing up like every other fighter. And the persona and the lifestyle was like, growing up in the hood, we looked at it like, that's Mike Tyson. We see the cars, the jewelry, the flair. Like you was a movie star. You was a hero.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. once shared a highly publicized friendship with rapper 50 Cent, a relationship that drew significant attention within the entertainment world. However, as Mayweather's fortune continued to grow, reports suggested that tension began to develop between the two. According to 50 Cent, Mayweather became increasingly focused on money, which created strain in their relationship. He claimed that during one disagreement, Mayweather told him he had never asked for his assistance, despite their long history of friendship. Over time, this disagreement led to a clear divide between them. 50 Cent suggested that Mayweather's strong emphasis on wealth had overshadowed other priorities, including his legacy and the relationships he had built earlier in his life.
I'm sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money?
Because you had already invested.
Right, like when you gonna give me your half of the money back? But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail, right? So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big, and I'm like, yo, so when, but see, the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent, regardlessly. Right. You know, so I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he gonna say he wants to, to give me the other half of it? Why I gotta ask you for it?
Right.
And then when
are we talking over 2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up the actual situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell y'all to do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
Oh, man.
He said something to me one time, very simple. He said, what a prize fighter fight for? And I'm like, and he said, the prize. So it's okay for you to watch the fight. Don't nobody watch Floyd fight to see how amazing he is. They watch it for the opportunity to see him lose.
Right.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no, like the people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. You know, he doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't like him.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. also experienced a breakdown in a professional relationship with one of his most promising fighters, Gervonta Davis, often known as Tank. Davis later stated that he felt taken advantage of during the time they worked together. He explained that he was frequently placed in situations where he had to rely heavily on Mayweather's guidance and control over his career. Despite the revenue Davis generated from his fights, he claimed that he was not compensated fairly. This disagreement over earnings and management eventually led Davis to separate from Mayweather and end their working relationship.
Or I'm gonna be back asking you for money. Nah, why would I do that? I give her a couple dollars. I take some, whatever, whenever you need some money. You feel me? But when I was legit to be able to get her out the hood, that's what I did.
Like, I had to learn that coming up that, like, a motherfucker will put you in a position to always need him. And, like, to the world, it might look like that's a great person. But, like, to somebody to understand, you understand, like, what Kendrick Lamar say? Nah, that's a master manipulator. Like, because if I gotta put you in a position that they always need me, you always gotta, I'm gonna just give you crumbs. And we hear it a lot. Like, if I'm like, what's $1,000? You know what I'm trying to say? But to you who don't have it, is a lot. And I know you gonna go to war for that $1,000. So me understanding that, $48 of power, I'm gonna always feed you a little bit so you can be excited and do just enough to come back around.
But I ain't really just put me in a position to be able to, you know, make my own thing. And I don't want to say no name, but they wind up catching it. The people that's over top of me, I mean, like, I was signed to him, and Floyd signed to him. So the person that, he said, okay, cool, I see what's going on. That's when he started taking over my career.
Gervonta Davis also spoke about what he described as Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s difficulty accepting others surpassing him in the sport. Davis suggested that Mayweather appeared uncomfortable when fighters began earning larger paydays or receiving greater recognition. He also mentioned that Mayweather once made remarks comparing himself to boxing legend Muhammad Ali, even suggesting that Ali was not superior to him. According to Davis, comments like these reflected Mayweather's strong competitive mindset and his desire to be viewed as the greatest in boxing history.
I'm going to say this. Okay. Out of all these guys in the history of boxing, I've accomplished more than every fighter in the history of boxing.
Okay, Ali.
Is Ali the same fighter that got beat by a fighter with 7 fights? Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali when he only had 7 fights.
Yes.
And if we really tell the truth, if we really tell the truth,
well, that's what you're here for. You're here to tell the truth.
What's the heavyweight guy that Ali fought 3 times? Ken Norton, actually.
Ken Norton.
Ken Norton really beat Ali all 3 times. Go back and look at the fights. I mean, we just telling the truth. And I love Ali, of course.
Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s attitude also drew attention beyond his personal relationships. As his career progressed, he frequently displayed his wealth in public, highlighting an extravagant lifestyle that included luxury possessions and high-end living. These public displays, along with some of his outspoken remarks, contributed to a growing backlash from fans and critics. Mayweather often expressed a belief that he deserved recognition as the greatest in boxing history, regardless of the accomplishments of other fighters. Because of this combination of bold statements and constant showcases of wealth, many observers developed a negative perception of him, leading some to view him as one of the most controversial figures the sport has seen.
In all of my career, I have never encountered an athlete who, number one, flaunts his wealth the way Floyd flaunts his wealth, and who, number two, is so blindly full of himself to the fault of those who did pave the way. He did acknowledge that much, so I appreciate that much. But the way he just blithely scoffed at Ali's accomplishments, it wasn't just disrespectful, Stephen A. Smith. It was flat out blasphemous. Now, to your credit, you did go back at him. You can't, okay, And to Floyd's credit, you know what? Early in Ali's career, he did get dropped. Not by Burt Cooper, by Henry Cooper in London. He fought him twice in London. And he did get dropped, and he got right back up and won the fight.
Because of his outspoken personality and constant displays of wealth, Floyd Mayweather Jr. became one of the most polarizing figures the boxing world has seen. Many fans viewed his lavish lifestyle and confident attitude negatively, which contributed to the strong criticism he often faced. Despite the backlash, Mayweather rarely engaged with the controversy surrounding him. Instead, he frequently stated that public opinion did not concern him and made it clear that he would continue competing, whether through exhibition matches or traditional fights. His unwillingness to respond to criticism, combined with his continued focus on fighting and making money, further deepened the divide between him and many fans and commentators who question the reasons behind his decisions.
They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like, he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like, this is $1 million worth of watches, this watch goes for $2 million. And
my
like,
most expensive watch that I currently own is $18 million. One watch.
and so you hate him. People hate him.
He creates envy.
Yes, yeah, he creates envy, and you want him to lose, but he's not gonna.
After stepping away from professional competition, Floyd Mayweather Jr. began participating in exhibition bouts. These appearances kept him active in the spotlight, but they also sparked considerable criticism. Many observers argued that facing relatively unknown opponents in exhibition matches could undermine the legacy he built during his professional career. Critics suggested that the primary motivation behind these events appeared to be the large payouts rather than maintaining the competitive standards associated with his earlier fights.
Floyd, what does it mean for you to go out on your terms, not on anybody else's terms, but you to make the decision, you know what, this is it, I don't care what all you guys say, I'm out of here, I'm done?
I mean, I think I just had a game plan. I had a brilliant game plan. The game plan was to be very outspoken, you know. I was born with personality, I was born with charisma. Speak my mind, speak from the heart. You know, I don't hate or dislike anyone. I want to go out there, you know, and just do what I have to do inside that square circle. Choose a tremendous team on the outside that's going to help me take things to the next level, and that's what I did.
Over time, the exhibition bouts involving Floyd Mayweather Jr. developed a reputation among critics, as events primarily focused on generating revenue. Detractors argued that these matches seemed designed more to maximize his share of the profits than to deliver highly competitive or meaningful contests for fans.
That's the shot. But you know what it is? I think obviously with Floyd, he gets the biggest percentage of the purse, isn't it?
Yeah, but he can still get the biggest percentage of the purse.
Yeah, but Ricky Hatton's gonna want more. He'll want more. He'll want more.
He'll want more.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when they fought in their heyday, Floyd got more.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know what I'm saying?
No, but Floyd wants like 95% more. 90% more. You know what I'm saying? It's not like...
He's like 95, 5. Yeah, that's how he likes to do it, isn't it? Because I'm not going to lie, if Floyd fought Ricky, both of them now, catch weight, 154, O2 Arena,
it will sell out. Sell out.
Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s involvement in exhibition events faced additional criticism after accusations emerged regarding fighter payments. Some opponents claimed they did not receive the full compensation that had been agreed upon for their appearances. Among those raising concerns were Deji Olatunji and Logan Paul. Both suggested that the payments connected to their exhibition bouts with Mayweather were not delivered in the amounts they expected. These allegations further intensified the debate surrounding the nature of Mayweather's exhibition fights.
I see a lot of people always bring up the fighter pay with the UFC, but isn't Logan complaining right now that he didn't get his checks from Floyd? Is that like a boxing issue versus
you don't ever hear that coming out.
To this day,
you hear a guy going,
now,
I want to make $30 million, I didn't get paid enough. You don't ever hear guys going, yeah, they didn't pay me yet, ever.
Is that like a boxing issue?
Well, here's what happens when you go in and you do these fights, and you make them. And Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong. You do these fights that are exhibitions or whatever. The commission isn't overseeing it. So let's say I did a fight with Mike. I got Mike fighting, Francis or something. The athletic commission gets the money up front. So they pay the fighters. They don't have to wait for, that was the big problem in the past, is that these boxing promoters would come in and they wouldn't make as much money as they thought they were going to do, so they would stiff the fighters and not pay the guys. And that's why these regulations are in place in these different states.
As the years went by, the excitement that once surrounded Floyd Mayweather Jr. gradually began to decline. While he had once dominated the boxing world, increasing attention shifted from his achievements in the ring to the controversies connected to his life outside of it. Among the issues drawing attention were allegations linked to a $42 million financial scheme, which raised questions about the transparency of some of his business dealings. These reports began to affect how many people viewed his public image. Additional claims also circulated suggesting that Mayweather had been unable to leave Dubai because of unpaid financial obligations. Stories like these intensified the discussion around his financial situation and added further pressure to an already controversial period in his career.
There was some drama going on about Floyd Mayweather being stuck in Dubai. However, that man was at Game 5 of the Clippers game. He's claiming that he is stuck in Dubai because there is debts that he has to pay off and they're not letting him leave. And we're sitting at Game 5 and I look over and I'm like, dude, that's Floyd Mayweather. Royce takes a video of Floyd Mayweather at the Clippers game, posts it on his TikTok. It goes viral. He posts 2 videos, both go viral. And the comments, nobody is believing him. They're like, that's not really Floyd. That's a clone. Floyd's stuck in Dubai. And the crazy thing was, usually when you're at these games, they'll have like, oh, special guest, celebrity of the night. They didn't show Floyd on the thing, but we have it on camera. But go check out Royce's videos if you guys want.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. carefully built a public persona centered around financial dominance in sports. He frequently highlighted the enormous amounts he earned throughout his career, presenting himself as the top-earning athlete in the world. Mayweather often pointed to his paydays as proof of his success, repeatedly stating that no competitor in the history of sports had generated the same level of income he had achieved.
What did you see when you watched that fight?
Look, Floyd needs to keep doing what he's doing, which is fighting complete tomato cans who we've never heard of before. I've never seen anybody in the history of America get so rich and so famous out of having complete wimps throwing punch at their faces. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, it's happened before. What about Rihanna? Shame on you. I will not stand for that. I will not stand for that. But, however, boxing has a misconception. Too soon? Was it too soon?
Chael Sonnen, a well-known fighter and commentator, openly shared his opinion about Floyd Mayweather Jr. continuing to participate in exhibition matches. Sonnen argued that the motivation behind those appearances seemed to be purely financial. He pointed out that, considering the enormous wealth Mayweather had already accumulated during his career, there appeared to be little reason for him to keep competing in bouts against relatively unknown opponents. In Sonnen's view, choosing to do so risked damaging the legacy Mayweather had built in the sport, suggesting that the pursuit of additional earnings might be coming at the expense of his reputation.
I know that Floyd is still getting in there as recently as this weekend because he needed the money.
You think Floyd's fighting because he needs the money?
Yeah.
Really? Why? You think he blew through all of his money? Get the fuck.
Well, he blew through a lot of it, but I'm sharing for you, it wasn't what you thought it was.
He blew
to start
through
with.
it and wasn't making as much as he
they're
says.
claiming he was doing $100 million a fight, and I'm claiming for you, he in his whole career has made about $100 million. There's a very
You know, Floyd had this long career. I could imagine him making more than $100 million.
I understand that. Floyd was not Muhammad Ali, and Floyd wasn't Mike Tyson. I got it. I know people think he made 130 in a night. I'm sharing with you, he didn't, and no boxer has. No boxer's ever made 130 million in one night. This is silly. Floyd Mayweather has closed down a mall. He has rented out the entire mall, and he spent $15 million. The proof that this happened is Floyd in a mall and Floyd with a bag of cash that probably had about 100 grand in it. He says, man, I'm a VIP, I'm a VP, I'm a VVVVIP. Do you want to know why he was whispering, guys? He was whispering so that he didn't disrupt the employees and fellow shoppers at the mall. It's okay. This is a gimmick. Floyd did everything that Floyd is supposed to do. It's strange that a 50-year-old man would continue to do what he did when he was 28 years old. That's strange.
Eddie Hearn, a prominent figure in the boxing promotion world, also voiced criticism regarding the approach taken by Floyd Mayweather Jr. in the later stages of his career. Hearn argued that many of Mayweather's bouts appear to be designed primarily around generating large pay-per-view revenue. In his view, the emphasis had shifted away from delivering competitive matchups for fans. Hearn suggested that Mayweather's evolution from a traditional prize fighter into a figure focused heavily on financial returns had, in his opinion, affected the overall perception of his career within the sport.
Somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000, something like that, if that.
I believe so.
We've had some bad ones, but this is, I've seen a map, someone posted a map yesterday. I mean, I don't know anyone that even knows Floyd Mayweather is fighting on Saturday. Who is putting the money up for these events? Like, I think that the Mayweather fights are so f***ing naff, to be honest with you. But I don't actually mind, like, at least Aaron Chalmers will go out and he can box and he'll have a go and like whatever. But literally no one knows that is even happening. Someone has hired out the O2 Arena thinking they're going to sell out the O2 Arena with Floyd Mayweather and they are going to do a couple of 100,000 buys on pay-per-view. It's either going to get cancelled before Saturday or someone is going to do their absolute conkers or people are not going to get paid.
After years of high spending and the acquisition of luxury properties and assets, reports began circulating that the financial situation of Floyd Mayweather Jr. had significantly declined. With a professional career already behind him, his attempts to remain in the spotlight through exhibition matches have continued to draw strong criticism. The controversy intensified when Mayweather was linked allegations involving a $42 million scheme, which sparked widespread public backlash. An investigation reported by Business Insider also questioned his earlier claim that he had purchased 62 apartment buildings. According to the report, the properties were not fully owned by Mayweather, and the details of the deal were not as he had presented them. These revelations further fueled criticism, especially because Mayweather had frequently highlighted his immense wealth in public. As a result, the situation led to increased accusation from critics who believed his financial claims were misleading.
There is a little bit of embellishing that you kind of have to do in order to get your foot in the door with some of these folks, because they otherwise ain't gonna deal with you. So it does require a little bit of fake it till you make it. I'm not saying that that report is true. I'm just simply saying that if there were some validity to that, that's not really the end of the world. He ain't lying about having ownership. He just may have embellished the truth about having no partners. Also, you got people calling him broke, which is crazy to me, man.
That wraps up today's video. Thanks for watching, and make sure to stay tuned for more updates. See you in the next one.